So joining me now is our favorite U.S. report regular, former White House Chief of Staff and Senior Advisor at Bondi Partners, Mick Mulvaney. Mick, this D.C. crime blitz just keeps going on. Trump's operation to crack down on crime seems to be working. The nation's capital has actually had a murder-free week. But now, Mick, it looks like Donald Trump is going out with the D.C. cops to do a little patrolling of his own. Tell us about this.
Yeah, James, it's absolutely fascinating to see what's happening in our nation's capital. Of course, Washington, D.C. is one of the most Democrat-leaning cities in the country. And there's some polling data out just the last 24 hours. It says roughly 80% of the residents there don't like what Trump is doing, but about 75% admit that it's making crime better. It's making the city safer. That's just a stunning sort of overlay, isn't it? That they hate Donald Trump, but they love what he's doing. So yeah, Trump is trying to fix the city. The city has been unsafe for a long time, especially in some of the public spaces. He was at, I think J.D. Vance today was at Union Station, the major train station there in Washington, D.C. Washington, one of the few cities in our nation that does have a major train station. And it's been a cesspool for crime for a long time. So Trump is cleaning the city up. The citizens like it. They just don't like the fact that it's Trump.
Yeah, and Mick, I'm going to talk a little bit more about J.D. Vance going to Union Station in a moment. But first, I want to ask you where this all goes because, you know, there's so many Democrat-run cities, not just Washington, D.C. You know, you can think of Chicago. You can think of, you know, so many places, Philadelphia, once great cities that have become, you know, crime-infested hellholes. Is the plan here for Trump to parlay what he's doing in D.C. onto a general assault on Democrat lawlessness? And the reason why I think this might be happening is I noted Ron DeSantis said this just a few days ago.
People ask me like, oh, you know, Florida, you guys are leading this. You just how you do it. I was like, you know, as governor of Florida, I get this great cheat code. All I got to do is look to New York, Illinois, California, and then do the opposite.
I mean, he's got a point here, Mick. You know, you just, you know, you do what the Democrat cities and the Democrat states are doing, and you do the opposite.
You do. And to your question about is Trump, you know, using D.C. to sort of get ready to do something in Chicago or New York or Los Angeles? Yes, but he's extremely limited in what he can do in those ordinary cities. And by ordinary, I mean Washington is extraordinary. Washington is not a city in an ordinary state. It is a federal district. And for that reason, the president of the United States has tremendous authority under certain circumstances in Washington, D.C. that he would never have in New York City or Chicago or Los Angeles. So he can't do the exact same thing. But if your question is he going to try and put pressure on blue cities and blue states to do the same thing that he has been doing? The answer is absolutely yes. Is he going to try to make law and order an issue going into the midterms? 100%. Because what he wants is people living in Chicago going, look, you know, we don't like Donald Trump, Governor Pritzker, but we really sort of like what he's doing. When are you going to do in Chicago what Donald Trump has done in Washington? And that's a fascinating conversation to have as we go into the midterm elections.